Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a little Q&A. I popped a little question box up on my Instagram and I had loads of questions, so I thought I would pop them all into a YouTube video. If you are new to the channel, hi, thanks for joining us. Please like the video and subscribe if you think it's worth liking and if you want to follow my gastric sleeve journey. So the first question that I got was, what is it? What is gastric sleeve surgery? So basically I'm going to describe it as best as I understand it. I probably should know everything about it considering I'm having it done, but this is how I understand it. So it's a procedure where surgeons will remove 75 to 85% of your stomach. It's done keyhole, so the surgeon will make like 4 or 5 little incisions in your abdomen, and then they will use special tools to remove your stomach and sort of staple up a new stomach, so you're left with a very, very small pouch or stomach, if you like, and that means that the amount that you can actually eat is significantly reduced, resulting in weight loss. It is very common. It's much more common than I first anticipated or first realised. I've spoken to so many people who have had it or who know somebody that's had it, so it's very, very common. Over time your stomach will stretch again, maybe not back to its original size, but it will stretch again over time, so you're not left like eating tiny little portions for the rest of your life. You can eat a little bit more, but I don't think you'll ever be able to go back to eating the kinds of portions that you did before. The next question that I get asked is it available on the NHS? So I'm not an expert because I am going privately for it, so I'm really not an expert on the whole NHS thing, but from my understanding and from my research, it is available on the NHS, but it can take years and years to actually get accepted to have it. So I think you need to go to like a board, and then they'll decide if you're suitable for it, I think, and then it gets referred to the surgeons, but I think it really depends on a number of things. It depends on any underlying health conditions that you have. It depends on your area massively, so I know that some areas there's like a 3 or 4 year waiting list, but it is available on the NHS, but I don't know too much about it. I think it is a very long and strenuous process, which is why probably most people go privately for it. I then got asked what makes me feel that this is the correct or the right option for me, and honestly I just think when you've tried every single diet and you've failed so many times and you're just absolutely exhausted with your life and how being obese is just massively controls your life, I think deep down you just know when it's going to be the right option for you. So for me personally, I can't face being on a diet for the rest of my life. Like, I know I'm going to be technically on a diet for the rest of my life post sleeve, but it's totally different because I physically won't be able to eat as much. Like, I have spent my teenage years and my 20s constantly battling with my own head, and I can't do it anymore. I'm not letting that define my 30s and beyond. Like, I'm young enough to get the surgery and still have a very healthy life in front of me, and it's just the right tool for me. It really is. I just felt like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders massively. I can't even explain it. Like, I hope that answers the question, but I just can't explain it beyond that. It's lifted a weight off my shoulders that I can't describe. I then had a sort of similar question from someone saying, like, why are you going down this road when you were so successful with Slimming World? And the answer's very similar. So just to touch on my background with dieting for anyone who's interested or for anyone who doesn't know. But okay, so when I was 19, I had put on a little bit of weight. I'd left school, I was at uni, things were totally different. So when I was 19, I started a diet class called Scottish Slimmers, which is a little bit like, Weight Watchers and Slimming World. And I only had 1.5 stone to lose. So even then, me thinking I was so overweight and going to this class to lose 1.5 stone, like, it's just so sad to think at 19 I felt like I had to do that. So I lost my 1.5 stone. I felt amazing. Like, I will share some pictures on how I look. So the reason that I was doing that class was because I had booked to go to Ibiza. So I started going in the January to the class, and then by the June I'd hit target. So it took me between January and June to lose 1.5 stone. I was losing like half a pound a week because I was 19. I was still going out, to the dancing, and I was still having chips and cheese at 2 a.m. So it did take me a while, but I felt unreal. Like, I just felt so good. Like, that's what I want to get back to. And I know I was 19 and it was like pre-babies and stuff like that, but I don't care. I want to get back to that because I just felt so good. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so basically that was when I first really got introduced to dieting, and then I joined Slimming World just before I fell pregnant with Bobby, so maybe when I was 22, and I've literally been in Slimming World for the majority of my 20s. And I have started and stopped and changed classes and changed consultants and started and stopped, and it's just not for me. It's not for me at all. During that time also I stopped eating, I became vegan, and then I stopped being vegan but just became vegetarian, and it's not really catered. Some world is not really catered to people who don't eat meat. That's my honest opinion, but it is so restrictive. It's far too restrictive for me. I don't want to be told that I can eat like Miller Lights or stock up in free food, or basically in the booklet, the language that's used in the booklet, for anyone who's familiar with Slim World, is so bad. Like, for someone who, like me, who feels like she has an eating disorder, it's so bad. It basically says like, fill your plate up to the brim or fill your belly up with free food, and it's just, I don't like diet culture. I don't want to be on a diet anymore. That's just, I do not want to be on a diet. I want to be able to retrain my brain to eat small portions, to eat what's good for me. Food is fuel. This is something that I'm teaching myself. This is something that I've never ever been able to see before. I've always treated myself with food. I eat food for every emotion, and I touched on that a little bit in my last video. I eat food when I'm happy, I eat food when I'm sad, I eat when I'm anxious, I eat when I'm worried, I eat when I'm celebrating. I eat food for every single emotion. You cannot be on a diet and have that mindset. So I'm really just trying to take myself back to basics and teach myself everything. So that's why I can't do diets. I do not like the diet culture. It's toxic for me personally. It works for some people, but not for me. And I just feel like with the likes of Slim World, who tell you that you can fill yourself up, that's just not teaching portion control, which means that when you do go back to eating out with plan, you just don't know how to stop. You don't listen to yourself. They're telling you eat. These are free foods. You can eat as much of these as you want. So that's what you do. I need to learn how to listen to my brain and listen when my stomach's saying I'm full. I don't need any more fuel, not food, but fuel. And stop and put my cutlery down and be able to take my plate into the kitchen and leave it. I have never been able to do that. So this is so much more than a diet for me. I hope that makes sense. Plus, diet food is full of sugar, sweetener, not good for you at all. I don't want to be associated with that at all anymore. Clean eating only. So the next question asks why I'm going to Turkey, and again I touched on this a little bit in my last video, and it's purely just a cost element. I can't afford to have it done here in the UK at the moment, and I need it done. I really do feel that this is, I'm at my point where like I need this and I can't wait. I can't like save up and wait till next year. It's not going to happen for me. I'll just keep ballooning and putting on more weight. It's a purely a cost element, because to get it done here it's around £10,000, and to get it done in Turkey is around between £3,000 and £4,000. I also had another question asking how much it is, so that covers that part as well. I was asked how I found the clinic that I'm going to, so how I found my specific clinic and surgeon. So I just started doing my homework, Googling, using Instagram for research, and I came across, I shortlisted down to 3 clinics, and I basically got my pen and paper out and I wrote a list, pros and cons of each one. And this particular clinic wasn't the most expensive but wasn't the cheapest either, and it had the most pros. I don't know if I've made the right decision. I'll not know until I've been now. The one thing that is annoying me now is because I'm going to Izmir, there's no direct flights at the moment to Izmir, so I'm going to need to get a connecting flight, which is annoying because I'm going to need to ask for special assistance at the airport because I can't, carry my luggage myself. I am travelling myself, by the way, because of COVID and quarantine and stuff like that. I can't have anyone come with me because everyone else works. So Robert has to go to work. He can work from home, but he won't work from home. He has to, still do his work and be able to go out and about. My mum, she doesn't work from home. My best friend, she's a teacher, so she can't come. So I have to go myself, and it's just one of those things. Whatever, loads of people go themselves all the time. So I just spoke to, it's not the surgeon that you speak to, it's like the patient coordinator, and I spoke to a few different patient coordinators, and the one I chose I found was the best value for money. So some other clinics were charging you for like a COVID test, but this one, it was included. Some other clinics were charging for, what else were they charging for? Like Wi-Fi, and this one it was included. So just things like that. Like I wrote a big list of pros and cons, and I found this company to be very professional, very good English, just good. I just get really good vibes from this company. So the company is called MedLife Group. I think they're only based in Izmir, I'm not sure, but this company's called MedLife Group. They don't just do weight loss surgery, they do dental treatments, they do cosmetic treatments, they do hair loss, like hair transplants and stuff like that. So big group. So I'm happy with my decision, but I guess once I come back I'll know if it was the right one. But yeah, I'm happy. So that's how I found them. But there are so many clinics in Turkey, and they do all look really good in their own right. The next question I was asked is, how much will you be able to eat afterwards? Because this person has seen that it's like hardly anything at all, and it's not much at all. But you don't need it, because if you think of your stomach's now the size of like a child's stomach, you would only need a child's size portion to satisfy it. It's similar to that, I suppose. So basically, for the 2 weeks straight after you have surgery, you're on liquids only. So you'll be eating things like broth, or drinking things like broth, protein shakes, and I think that's about it for 2 weeks. And then you go into like a pureed stage, which I'm not looking forward to at all, because the thought of eating pureed food gives me the absolute heave. I seen someone saying that they were eating like baby food pouches. Not for me. I don't really know how I'm going to get through that stage. And then you go into like soft foods, and then you start to slowly introduce foods back into your diet. So at first your stomach is absolutely tiny, but then over time it does grow a little bit. So you might never be able to sit down to like a big massive portion like you previously were, but that's part of the issue for me anyway to begin with. Is the amount of food that I can put away is actually disgusting. Like I can eat more than Robert, and he's a grown man. I'm looking forward to that, to be honest. I'm looking forward to be able to take a few bites of something that I really want to eat, and then be satisfied and be able to just stop thinking about eating. So I think over time you can still go out and you can still eat stuff, but I think people have a bit of a problem with the likes of bread and pasta, which I don't really care. I'm not really too bothered about that myself, to be honest. What is the recovery like, and when will I be able to go back to work? So I think recovery is pretty easy from what I've seen, to be honest. I'm taking a week off work to obviously go to Turkey and have the surgery, and I'll stay over there for like 3 or 4 days after the surgery to make sure all's well before I travel home, and then I'm going back to work. But I'm working from home. I think you'd probably need maybe 2 weeks off work if you had like a job where you had to lift, or that was quite a physical job. I don't. I'm literally working from home. If I have to take an hour for my lunch break to have a sleep halfway through the day, I can do. So I'm just going to go back to work, and I'm quite positive that it'll be okay, if I'm being honest. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the woman said that she had she went a 10-mile bike ride 5 days after. This one is a good question, and it is, how did I tell my family and friends? So I just WhatsApped them, to be honest with you. I've seen a few people answer this question on like other kind of YouTube videos that I've watched, and they said like, oh, you know, it merits more than a WhatsApp. I told my family over dinner and all this. I didn't. Couple of reasons. The first one is, I don't know, like, I was getting it done anyway. I wasn't asking for people's permission or blessing. I was just telling them that that's what was happening. I'm quite a strong-willed person, and once I've made my decision, that is it. So I wasn't asking for anyone's permission, so I was a bit like, this is what's happening. Plus, I didn't want to put anyone on the spot, so it might be a big thing for some people to take in, but my mum was totally great about it. But I wouldn't want to put anyone on the spot, so I wouldn't want to say to my mum, this is what I'm having, for her to have a reaction that I didn't want to hear, for me to then be put in a position where I have to justify myself, or where I feel like I've hurt their feelings. So I felt like if I can just tell them over WhatsApp or text, they then can register this piece of information however they see fit and come back to me with an appropriate response. So it wasn't like people were going to be angry or shocked. Like, deal with your emotions in your time and then come back to me with whatever you want. And I think it just allows people to process the information a little bit better. My best friend was like, okay, I know you've done your research, but let me look into it. She was a little bit short. Well, I felt like she was short. I wouldn't want her to feel like she had to be that way in front of me. Do you know, it's a big piece of information. I want people to be able to take their own time with it. And then the rest of my family and friends that I didn't tell found out on Instagram when I put it on last week or the week before. Whenever I put it on Instagram, I just don't feel like, for me, I don't feel like it's a big deal. It's happening, and that's it. So yeah, that's how I done it. But everyone's different. Like, I have to protect myself as well, and I wouldn't want anyone to be angry with me. Like, and then I'm put in a position where I have to be defensive. No, that's not what I'm all about. Everyone, you do you. Okay, this is the last question, and it's my favourite question, and it is, what are you looking forward to most post-surgery? So I think what I'm looking forward to most is, first of all, I'm going to go to Zara. Not straight away, obviously. Once I've lost weight, like my new life, once I've lost what I need to lose, I'm going to go and shop in Zara, because I've never been able to do that before, because Zara clothes do not fit me. Never have done. So yeah, I'm going to go to Zara. I'm going to do a big, massive shop there, so I can't wait for that. But there is so much stuff. I just want to feel normal. I don't want to feel like the biggest person in the room. I just want, one of my friends to say, let's go on a girly spa weekend, and for me to say, yeah, no bother, I'll book it, let's do it, instead of me being like worried about, I can't go because I don't have a swimsuit and I'm too embarrassed about my body. That's what I'm looking forward to, just feeling normal. I'm looking forward to being able to paint my toenails, because believe it or not, right now I really struggle to paint my toenails and put my shoes on, or tie my shoes. I'm looking forward to being able to walk, and while I'm walking, be on the phone, because right now I can't do both simultaneously. I have to do one or the other because I'm so out of breath. I'm just looking forward to the little things that people really take for granted. But I'm looking forward to just saying yes to every single opportunity. Everything. Nights out, yes, because I've got something to wear, because everything fits me. Weekends away, yes. Holidays, yes. I'm just looking forward to living my life so much. I'm really looking forward to hopefully one day getting pregnant again and being able to enjoy a pregnancy not overweight, and have a normal pregnancy and a normal bump, because I was still probably overweight when I had Bobby. I was nowhere near as big as I am now, but I thought I was massive. I put on a lot of weight with Bobby, and I've never ever really been able to get rid of it all. So I'm looking forward to hopefully one day being a fit mum, a mum who still exercises. Like, I'm willing and will be able to change my whole life and how I approach absolutely everything. So I'm really looking forward to exercising and not feeling embarrassed, being able to fit in gym clothes, so much, literally so much. I think that's all the questions. I can progressively see myself through this video becoming more and more flushed because the heating's on and my hair getting more and more flat. Oh, it's crazy. But yeah, I think that was all the questions that I had. Thank you so much if you've made it to the end of this video. I know it is a long one. but I did get quite a few questions which I was actually quite surprised about. So if you've made it to the end, thank you so much. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to follow my gastric sleeve journey, then please subscribe to the channel and I will have lots more videos coming up. I have changed my surgery date, by the way. I've changed it from the 26th of May to the 14th of June, so I've pushed it back by 3 weeks. Please come along and follow my journey, and thank you so much for watching.